Good morning. I'm not doing too much today because I'm out with my sister, but in fact she's going to meet me here today. But I'm just checking how my plastering's dry now, and I still have this issue with the dado rail where there's a definite ridge there and there for that matter. But what I have found, if I use filler, I've been trying it on a few areas, it does actually vanish. So that's obviously the way I'm going to have to just run a layer of filler or finishing plaster. I bought a bag of that yesterday in case that works better. It might actually. And just kind of, if I can get these walls flat, that'll be half the challenge. You know, there are some areas, because it's an old house, it's been through the Second World War, but like take for instance, you know, I've got this whole bit here that I've got to do, but if you tap, hear that, solid as we come down, hollow, because the plaster's blown, but I have PVA'd this whole wall, saturated in PVA glue, and it, to be honest, it seems to have stabilised it. It's just that one area there, but you know, if it comes to it, I'll take that out and just put some new plaster in it. But yeah, otherwise it's coming along all right. But I shan't do too much today. What I did manage to do with this horrible polyfilled socket is I'm really challenged to know what to do with it because it was so proud of the surface. So it was dust mask on and angle grinder, seriously. But I did have to shut the door and open the window. There was a lot of dust. But what I have done now is taken it below the surface. So I shall at some point turn off the electrics, disconnect that socket, in fact remove the socket, tuck the wires in and just polyfiller it, well, or finishing plaster possibly, do the whole lot so it's actually smooth again. And then once that's all gone off, I can change the socket for a new one. And of course, under new building, well, for new buildings, sockets are of course now a lot higher than they used to be. The thinking being that you don't have to bend down. I'm not so sure on this. This is an old house, and I'm not going to be running my sockets halfway up the wall, except for because this is Anthony's bedroom, and his bed is going there. I did think it might be wise to put a socket up here, up high, because he does like to plug his phone in and bits and pieces. So, and it'd be annoying if it was tucked behind the bed, wouldn't it? You know, you'd have to be running extension leads. So at this point, I'll probably will run one slightly higher. But other than that, that's it. Just get all these walls flat. I've got to run the last of the cables underneath now. So I've got to run a new one from there, because it comes in through next door, through there, under the floorboards. Might put one there. Certainly putting one there with a spur above it. Another one there, and replace this one that's a surface one just above there. Well, if it even needs it, to be honest, it may not. But that's it. But I'm certainly not doing anything in here today because it's all going to be dust, and I just have completely the wrong clothes on for that. So that's Ralph's house for today. Not particularly exciting, I know. But there you go. I did mention in the last video about this boiler, about the fact that, you know, I've just experienced a place where the boiler was in the loft and it takes 4 minutes for it to come down. Well, that is significant, because if you think about it, that means all those pipes from the loft down to your downstairs tap are going to be full of hot water that you don't use. It'll just sit and go cold in the pipe eventually, which does not seem very efficient, which is why I put it where it is. Anyway, that's it for today. I've had enough, and then tomorrow I shall be down in the morning and seeing what else I can do, hopefully get that plastered up. And I'm starting to fill all the gaps now between the walls and the skirting with what do you call it? Well, not polyfiller, caulking, decorator's caulk, which seems to fill most of the gaps. Anyway, that was particularly large, got plastered, same as it did at the top. It just ties the whole thing together nicely. I suspect that these ceilings have moved relative to the walls over the last 30 years. There's sort of evidence of where the paper's been wallpapered, they've rocked up at the edges, and it would only really do that if the ceiling moved a little bit. That's all right. You know, we can make that right again. And once this is all done, just got to change that light pendant. It's strange, isn't it, with these older houses, they always had the mirror, the light by the window. I presume because everyone put their dressing table there, I'm just guessing. And we did think, well, let's put it back in the middle. But I just think, no, we'll leave it where it is. And he can have lots of supplementary lighting. You've got all this LED stuff now. So he should have plenty to keep him engaged. Anyway, that's it for today. Hopefully tomorrow I'll have a bit more exciting stuff to show you. Thanks for watching.